Hello and welcome to Cruise's YouTube channel. The more astute of you will have immediately noticed this is not the dulcet tones of Cruise, unfortunately. There's a lot of games at the minute in SOVL, so he wants to keep some commentary and videos ticking over, but unfortunately he's not been very well recently, so we pass on our best wishes to Cruise, who runs this channel. He did look around for someone as handsome, as well-spoken and as knowledgeable as him about all things SOVL, but unfortunately he failed and you have landed with me. My name is floating around, that's who I am. And yeah, apologies, you've got my British accent to put up with for these videos. What we're bringing you in these videos is a best of 3 match in the current SOVL Discord Cup 17. We're on 17 SOVL Discord Cups already. This format is one of my favourites. It's called Conquest, although I accidentally called it King of the Hill, but same thing. The idea is you bring 2 lists of 650 points border patrol. You pair up against somebody and you must win with both of your lists. So as an example from my first round, I've brought the dinosaurs and I've brought the Elven Conclave, and I was paired up against Captain Toad, who had dwarfs and ratkin. You secretly pick who you're going to use first, so I went in with my dinosaurs, Captain Toad went in with the dwarfs. I managed to squeak a win with my dinosaurs, no rat pun intended there, and that meant that I could only use my conclave. Toad could use both of their remaining lists to try and get those wins. I did manage to get a second win, not trying to show off or anything, but you know, got to get that in while I've got a chance. And that's sort of the format of this. It's a great format. You've got to bring 2 well-balanced lists. You must win with both. Once you've won with one, you can't go back and use it again. Only really the first round matchup is random. After that, you know what at least one of the players is going to bring. So a little bit of thinking to do in terms of who you queue up with first, and I'm not going to reveal my secret for how I pick for myself. The first round matchup that we're focusing on here is a really interesting one between 2 very different players. We've got Chaplout, who's been around for a long time, former #1 on the ELO leaderboard, a former tournament winner and well known on the Discord, and he's up against Sbennets, who has joined relatively recently compared to a number of people, but I know him from the Warhammer Fantasy / 9th Age scene, where he's played for Team Italy, so a very, very good player. I said has played at ETCs for Italy in the past, so you've got somebody who has been in SOVL a long time and is a very good player in Chaplout versus somebody who is a very good tactician but is relatively new to SOVL but has been playing ranked for a couple of months at least. So in terms of the lists that they've brought, we'll start by looking at Chaplout's list. We'll go into these in a little bit more detail when they're playing the matchups, I guess, but Chaplout's brought Knights of Avalon, so you got a Maiden with Radiant Shield on a Unicorn, and a Paladin with Relentless and Holy Blade in 5 Kingsguard. I absolutely despise Kingsguard, but that's an issue for another time. 2 19s of Peasant Mobs, 2 8s of Hunting Dogs, and 4 Pegasus Knights. A really interesting list. Frostward and Radiant Shield on the Maiden, and they seem to be bubbling up a little bit at the moment. A lot of the early Maidens had Arcane Web, which obviously goes really well with the Pegasus Knights and the flying ability of them. But Radiant Shield seems to be bubbling up. The other list is an Abyssal list, so we've got a Sorcerer with Hex and Blood Frenzy on a Manticore, an Abyssal Champion with Unyielding and True Strike on a Chariot, 2x15 Northmen Axe, 2x8 Abyssal Hound, 5 Northmen Horse. Unusual to not see an Abyssal Champion with an extra wound. I don't think that's what Unyielding does off the top of my head, even though I've been playing a long time. I do get the items confused. Sbennets, on the other hand, has brought Abyssal Demons, so we're looking at Herald of Decay in some flies, so in 2 Plague Flies. An Abyssal Prince, who has got Unyielding and True Strike. The Unyielding Abyssal Prince is really cool, not seen all that often, but also a Lord of Decay with Arcane Web and Blood Frenzy. 2 units of Plague Walkers, 1 of 11, 1 of 10. 5 Fire Devils, if they can get into the right position, they are amazing, and 2x8 Demonic Hounds. And then a Reptilian list, relatively similar to my own with a few differences, but we've got an Ancient Toad with Rift and Fiery Blades in 11 Saurian Warriors, Unyielding on the Toad as well. I really like Unyielding on Toad, I think it's underutilized. A Newt Priest in 16 Braves with Javs. The Newt Priest has Divine Favour and Primal Fury. 3 15s of Newt Braves with Javelins and 4 Pterodactyls. I think we're on like the 12th age of the Newt or something at the moment, so not super surprised to see a load of dinosaurs cropping up. But we're going to jump straight into Game 1. We joined the action just after deployment in the midst of turn 1, just due to when it started getting recorded. I've not seen these games. I'm going to be reacting live to these games as I watch them. The camera work and the zooming in and all the arcs you can see was being controlled by Chaplout, so you can berate him if there's too many arcs or not enough arcs as you see fit. And as I said, we'll pick up the action in turn 1 just after deployment. So here we are, we've got an early move from Pterodons, which is interesting. Got some Javs moving up and trying to ping some off. So we've got the Reptilians versus the Knights of Avalon. As somebody who's used a lot of dinosaurs in my time, I really don't like playing Knights of Avalon. The speed, the armour, the punch. I think Knights of Avalon do pretty well, generally speaking, into dinosaurs. You don't tend to get loads of turns of Javelins. The left-hand side, as we look at it, is quite an aggressive move by those skinks, and the Pterodons, as I said, moving early is a bit of a surprise, I guess. And there's this, the Rifting Toad. Looks like Chaplout's got the last activation, which I would assume is Pegasus Knight. Yeah, there we go. A defensive Rift. And that is a very aggressive Peg Knight action. That is a genuine surprise they got pushed that hard. I've not been running Rift on my Toad. I've been running Hex, which with Primal Fury is a wonderful combo and does swing this matchup somewhat. But we've got some charges here. We've got Dogs into Braves, King's Guard into Braves. Dogs and Pterodons might be facing off over there. The Toad unit charging the Peg Knights, who flee, which makes me question that move even more, because surely you knew they were going to charge. But anyway, we'll see how that works out. The King's Guard bounce off the Dogs, which, oh, look at that, for a fight that's going to happen. I think that's pretty good for Chaplout, if I'm honest. I think if those King's Guard are on the objective, they're not really in the game. Peg Knights fail to rally. That's unfortunate. I think the Maiden with Aura Protection is really good against dinosaurs. The Death 4 is pretty good against most of the stuff. She's a real tough nut for them to crack. Setting up a flank on these Pterodactyls, which is nice. Pivot a bit more, Chaplout. Do it. Yeah, there we go. Nice. Yeah, I think it's interesting seeing that some of the spells people take. I understand why people are going Rift, but I personally really like Hex, Primal Fury. Maiden moving up pretty aggressively. Radiant Shield on Dogs. Still got potential Divine Favour on those Newts as well to come. Javelins, killing one whole peasant, and that is very much what Javelins do. It's attrition rather than a big hit. If they charge, it's whoever gets the magic buffs. The Reptilians and the 2 casters get a lot of stuff in terms of in terms of the amount of spells they get in turn. Yeah, 3. That's Primal Fury. So really wanting to kill those dogs. I only got 2 casts of Primal Fury, so it's really valuable to use it at the right time. The dogs do flee. Not overly surprised for mine. Those dogs absolutely whip. Great roll on Primal Fury. Yeah, break the dogs. I think nowadays, I think Divine Favour does the same job really. I was surprised to see Primal Fury come out. Okay, so we have got Pterodons are going to get caught by the peasants here, so that's a downward trade. Dogs for Pterodactyls, it's obviously not great. This fight between Newt Braves and Peasants, I think that's a genuine surprise. I guess you on the magic support on the Saurian Warriors, which is why I think Hex is better than Reality Rift, if I'm honest. Unlucky to roll those 3 1s on the paladins from the shooting before, by the way. At the time. A nice move onto the flank here. It does. There's a rock on that forest. Primal Fury goes off. Fiery Blades would put you at strength 7. Holy Blades goes off. Doesn't make any difference. It's monsters only, I think. Dogs rally. That's useful. And Newts have both rallied. Peg Knights. They do rally. That's good for the game. Peg Knights are really hard to deal with the dinosaurs at this point as well when everything's tied down. They can just go do whatever they want. Right, Radiant Shields. Saving off 5 out. Flank Kingsguard's just pretty horrific to deal with, to be honest. Go on the Toad! 5 dead. Dinosaur guys. Great roll. Oof, on the re-roll they hold. But I think now with both Primal Furies gone, I think those Saurian Warriors are probably going to get ground out. That is why I prefer Hex Primal. I think Hex Primal's really, really good. Wow, the news hold. I am genuinely surprised by that. Sure, Pterodactyls die. Drag 2 with them. I think at this point, the right-hand objective is obviously in Sbennets' favour. But I think the left I can see folding here. You've got so much Knights of Avalon. You've got Kingsguard in a good combat. The Maiden should be fine. Can get support next turn. Pegasus Knights are alive and can go into a flank maybe of the wizard unit, or can set up to go flank off the Newt Priest unit or the Ancient Toad. Just pushing here just to go into the rear of the wizard's unit, which is fine. Paladin. I mean, Holy Blade doesn't do anything, so. Or is it +1 power? Didn't quite see it in time. You can tell how often I've played with KOA. The answer is I've never played with them. Divine Favour for the leadership on those Newts. Frostward against a unit that's probably going to get shot. It's not a bad move. Fiery Blade +4, so means the peasants saving 5s. I think they're only skill 2 if my memory serves me correctly. So that's where Newts do have a bit of a good time, is when they're scrapping away against peasants and you've got a buff on them. Frostward saves 1. There was a 2. Happy days. Okay, the Toad. This is why I'm yielding on the Toad's great. I know it didn't matter there, but it's just good. Ugh, unlucky. The Croc. 6 rerollable. Oh, sticks. I think the reason unyielding is really good here is that if you get down to just the Toad, you can just quite happily sit there for a long, long time. It's just absolutely horrible. You can't do anything to that Maiden. She's such a tank lead. Okay, they do flee. Board. It was a great combat from the Newts, but it didn't matter too much in the end. The dogs are blocked by the pegs, and the pegs are in the flank. Sure. I think pegs in the flank is actually good. It means they're not going to get flanked by the other unit of Newts coming in. So I weirdly think that's worked out pretty well for Chaplout. Hindsight and all that. That was... That red thing might have been the Toad's refresh of spells, whatever it's called. Ancient Knowledge? Is that what it's called? Oh, 1 left. The worst amount of dinosaurs to have left. Stick around though. Right, is this unicorn just going to grind through these skins? Just 4's re-rolling and then 3's re-rolling. Ah! Fell 2. That's not great. Sure, the wizards, please. I mean, you're expecting these newts to just keep fleeing one after another. Oh, that's really bad from the newts. Stick around though, but that they don't want to be in a prolonged combat after losing their hand weapon bonus. They start to lose that combat. And there's not loads. Fiery Blades has been refreshed. But where are you going to put? Fiery Blades doesn't matter on those newts that are charging those pegs, so maybe you do put it off on those newts on the left. Sure, dogs pressuring those newts who rally. Good rallying on the newts this game. Often could be a frustration when playing with dinosaurs, is you're looking at leadership 7. Fails quite often. Right, what is going to happen over here? The reptilians. Big break test this. No reroll because the retinue's gone. The toad is legging it. But if the toad's stuck there, it can just sit. Relentless is great. And this unicorn is. Whoa, more break tests with the reptilians around. A little bit better than the newts, but it's not great. Oh, they do manage to win. And break. Do we reckon these newts are going to go into the rear of that unicorn? Bad roll. Oh, that was a big leadership 7 test in the end. Swings the objective as well, which is really important going into these late turns. That was a really big turn from Chaplout there with the amount that broke. And it's not going to stop there. Both units of newts on those right are going to die. The toad's got 3 wounds left. It's pretty good to do that. Newts and 3 are peasants. I mean, if this unicorn sticks around, if the toad dies, if those dogs break those newts, there's a lot here that could go well. Maiden. Kill through, there's no ranks left. She only takes a wound. Okay. Half points. Doesn't give away points. One of the joys of single model unit. Those newts do break. Surprise there. Do these peasants break? Yes, they do. So it's on the toad. Oh yeah, I see. I forgot about this, but they're dead anyway. It could have double won it, but sure. It's only 50 points in the objective on this as well. Good roll for the toad to stick around. A lot of points in this toad. 5 hits, rerolling 5s. That's a lot. I reckon that's going to be squeaked by Chaplout. It is 637 to 374. It did not feel like a 250 point game. But there we are, 637 to 374. And a win for Chaplout. And what that means for this format, just to reiterate, is Chaplout now has to use his Abyssal Legion list and get a win with it, whereas Sbennets has got free choice between the demons or the dinosaurs. You know you're up against the Abyssal Legion next, so you can pick and choose as you see fit. Game 1 goes the way of the French. Let's see about Game 2 very, very shortly.